Alright, let's do this. A lot to talk about. A lot of reviewing to do. Okay. What's going on, everybody? I'm the Entertainist, and welcome back. Now, I know I'm very late on this review. This is a movie that came out on Christmas, and we're a few weeks past that. Now, I've been very busy this week. I tweeted and I put on my Facebook page that, I plan to do this review, and I know I was behind on a couple things. I had family in town, so, I was very busy, and since I was very busy during December doing my Christmas countdown, it felt good to take a little break from movie reviews and just making videos and, kind of giving myself a little vacation, spending time with family, all that good stuff. But now I'm back, and I'm actually glad that I waited a little bit to talk about this movie, because I have a lot to talk about, and I want it all sink in because I do have some thoughts on this movie. So Wonder Woman 1984 is directed by Patty Jenkins. It's out on HBO Max, as we all know. A lot of us have seen it. And I just want to start with that I heard about all the negative reviews before I saw this movie. And anytime I see some negative thoughts, like mostly negative, nothing too positive about it, nothing uplifting, I naturally go into it with lower expectations, which can sometimes make me enjoy the movie a little bit more. Rise of Skywalker, for example. When I heard that this is the worst movie, Star Wars movie since Phantom Menace, and I'm like, shit, dude, this is about to be a terrible movie. I went into it. I didn't mind the movie. I think as a standalone movie, it's fine. Same with Batman vs. Superman and Justice League. I'm aware of the wrongs in those movies and why people don't like them. I don't mind them too much. I don't think they're great. They're not the best superhero movies. They're not even the best DC movies. But I just, I don't mind them too much. I don't hate them like everyone else does. So when I was hearing a lot of negative things about Wonder Woman 1984, I was a little shocked because of how great the first one is. The first one's awesome. I love the first Wonder Woman. It's definitely probably the best DC Extended Universe movie. And since that was such a hit and they did everything with that movie right, kind of thought that this one was going to be a lot of fun. And the trailers made it look a lot of fun. Made it look like a cool action movie. That there's going to be a lot more adventure to the movie. Not saying that the first Wonder Woman didn't have that, but this one was just going to be a lot more laid back and fun. It's what it made it seem like. And to tell you guys, I hate this movie. I really do. I've never done this with a movie before, so it was nice to watch it on HBO Max as a brand new movie, and to kind of just sit and take notes. I was literally taking notes as to parts I do like and parts I didn't like, actually analyzing the movie a little bit. I've never done that before. And I was going to go see this in theaters with my friends because I was like, oh, Wonder Woman's definitely a theater movie. So glad I didn't spend $10 on that. I would have been even more pissed. After the movie was over, I was like, God damn, dude, that was so disappointing. And after a week of letting it sit in and thinking about just some of the shit I hate this movie. I really do. So let's talk about this. I think the beginning was okay. The CGI was really bad. It was super noticeable. I mean, it felt like I was watching a goddamn video game. Like if I was watching Injustice or something. But I thought the beginning was probably the most, one of the most fun parts of the movie. Little Diane, going on this, I don't know, some obstacle course. And I understand, she gets caught cheating, and that's why she didn't get the reward. But the thing is, that didn't play that big of an effect into the movie. I was like, oh, where's the lesson in this? I mean, I guess they tried to. I see what they were trying to go for. It's just the execution was terrible with it. The shots, though, were beautiful. Minus the CGI, the movie does have some really nice shots. I will give it that. Some of the scenery is really nice to look at, especially in the opening credits. But, by the way, I mean, this movie's been out for a while, and I'm sure we've all heard about this. There's going to be spoilers in this. I'm not going to break down every single thing, but I feel like I can't talk about this movie without spoiling some stuff. So there's going to be some minor spoilers in there. I want to talk about some of the side characters first that were kind of like main characters, even above the main character of the movie. I want to get them out of the way before I dive into Wonder Woman, Diane as a character. Barbara. Kristen Wiig is Barbara. I like Kristen Wiig. I think she's funny. I really liked her on Saturday Night Live. I think she's hilarious on that. And in movies, she's got that quirkiness to her. You know, it's fine. And in this movie, it worked out at first. She's just she's another one of those characters. Thing is, it's so unoriginal of a character, of how they portrayed her. How she's the quirky and has no confidence and no charisma, and then wants to be like the hero. Okay, Edward Nygma, Jim Carrey is the Riddler, we've seen that before. Come on, Warner Bros. And Michelle Pfeiffer is Catwoman, like, we've seen this. Just the quirky character and doesn't know how to stand up for themselves. And then, you know, later gets confidence, and then they kind of use that for evil. I mean, it's been done before, except this was taken terribly. It was weird seeing her go from Barbara to Cheetah, and then it's like, why the fuck did she become a cheetah? Like, because I'm going to get into the whole wish aspect, but that's what she wishes for? First she wishes to be like Diane. I'm like, okay, like, still, it's stupid. It's been done before, but, you know, you're doing something, I guess. And then she just becomes a fucking cheetah? What? I don't know. That was just bad. I didn't think Kristen Wiig was that great as her, to be honest. I don't think she was the right person for the job. But, you know, it's... One person that I actually think was right for the job was Pedro Pascal. He was the only thing of this movie that I somewhat enjoyed. Now, the character wasn't written the greatest, obviously. He kind of reminded me of Black Mask a little bit. And what I mean by that is like, Black Mask is more of like a businessman. You know, he's just terror, like running an empire in a city. And that's kind of what I thought about with Maxwell Lord. But I thought, you know, because I didn't really like Black Mask and Birds of Prey. I really didn't. And I love Ewan McGregor, and I didn't think he pulled off a villain. I don't think he should be playing villainous roles. But I'm getting off track. I thought Pedro Pascal was alright. Like, him as an actor was doing what he could with that role. I thought, you know, he was doing good with what he was dealt with, the script he was dealt with. And I don't know, I fairly enjoyed him. I like that he's this guy who, you know, he's kinda sleazy. You know, he screws people over to get what he wants. And he's just the guy on TV who has a lot of charisma and seems very likable on that. Life is good, but it can be better. Like, you know, it's just fun. I thought he was alright. But as it was going on, and he gets the stone and becomes the stone and can just wish for whatever he wants, I'm like, okay, I like the concept. I like what you're doing, but there's something wrong when you do shit like that. It's like time travel. You're never going to be able to do time travel perfectly, for one. I mean, for all we know, it doesn't exist. And also, when you do something like this, there's going to be some paradoxes to it. Because he's wishing for whatever he wants. The movie, he's looking for oil to succeed in his business. Why didn't he just wish for oil? And then be like he's literally searching for oil. When he goes to the one country and then like builds a wall over it. And he's like, oh, where's the next place we can find oil? And then he runs into Wonder Woman. When Wonder Woman wants to, you know, tell him like, hey, I need the stone back. And then he loses her. And then he's like, where can we find oil? Why didn't you just wish for it, if that is what you can do? And then if Wonder Woman's bothering you, why don't you just wish that she was dead? What? I mean, if there's something like to be said about that, if there's something to justify those reasons, please let me know in the comments. But I just don't see how any of that made sense. I literally said this as soon as the movie was over. I told a few people. I was like, this movie feels like a rough draft. That they were like doing a pitch meeting and they were like trying to throw out ideas, and it's like, okay, we have a rough draft of what we can do, but we need to add more substance to it. But it's like they didn't add substance. They were just like, alright, we got some ideas, fuck it. Cut, print, let's roll this thing. That's what it felt like. There's so many wrongs in the movie. And it's like they did as little as possible. It's a 2.5 hour movie that barely has Wonder Woman in it. And I mean, not Diane, I mean Wonder Woman. It's called Wonder Woman. And she's Wonder Woman in the beginning for like 20 minutes. And then she you know, they do the cool car chase scene with Maxwell Lord and Steve and Wonder Woman. And then after that, it's towards the end. She's Wonder Woman for like 3 to 4 scenes max in a 2.5-hour movie. And then Diane feels so sidelined. They feel like they just kind of Jar Jar Binksed her. Like, oh, we'll toss her to the side. In her own movie. It felt like this was more about Maxwell Lord and Barbara. And I guess Steve. Steve, like, anytime, like, and Steve was making Wonder Woman important. It was making Diane's character important. And I got shit to say about the Steve thing, too. But I'm just, like, this is the overall of, like, why they did this to this character. She's one of the most beloved DC characters. She's awesome, and Gal Gadot does a great job as her. So why the fuck would you not give her that much screen time? They really don't. And when they do, they don't take it to their advantage. They're like, well, you know, we gotta keep the plot going. You know, we don't want to rush this thing out. There's no balance. It's like, I feel like the only fucking movie that knows how to do this is the Dark Knight trilogies. They balance out Bruce Wayne versus Batman. They know when to use Batman. They know when to use Bruce Wayne, and to make them both valuable and important to the story and enjoyable to watch. There was way too much Diane in this, and it wasn't enjoyable. And she was just kind of there as a plot device to bring Kristen Wiig's character to life, to give her character development. It's like it was a fucking Cheetah movie. And then to give Maxwell Lord a reason to become a villain. She's a fucking plot device in her own movie. And as far as Steve's return, I like Chris Pine as Steve. I already didn't like that when I saw that in the trailer. I'm like, what? So there's no stakes? Like, the dude's not dead? What's going on? And then she wishes for him back. But it's not really Steve. It's some guy that she meets that looks like Steve. Or that she sees as Steve. It's like if Steve's soul possesses Guy. What the fuck? What? You're already doing stupid shit in the movie. Stuff that I'm not buying. Stuff that like 9 out of 10 people aren't buying. We're like, we're not having this shit, dude. We're not believing it. So why not just bring Steve back? This is where I would be okay with laziness. I'm like, if you just brought Steve back. Like, you're already pulling all this shit out of your asses. That's like, well, no, hold on. If we just bring Steve back, it's not believable. Well, you did it in a dumber way, dude. It's just, guys, I mean, this movie's a fucking smack in the face. And we all know it. Like I said, I'm late to this review. I'm saying stuff that's probably already been said. But this is stuff that I truly feel about. I read a few negative comments. I was like, you know what? I need to stop. I started watching like Chris Stuckman's review and Jeremy John's review. And I was like, I need to stop. Because I don't want it to feed into my review. And because I could tell where they were going with theirs. I think Jeremy Johns liked it. But anyways, like, the negative reviews, I didn't want it to feed into my own, because I want to form my own opinion. But I kind of have the same opinion everyone else does, just naturally. I'm watching the movie feeling this way, taking notes, and all my notes are more negative than positive. It's just crazy that this is the way they went about this movie. Like I said, if they wanted to make this more of a fun, laid-back Wonder Woman movie, I'd understand that. It doesn't need to be as grounded as the first one, because the first one's very grounded, and it's a lot more serious. And if they wanted to go more, I don't know, more bright with this one, and they do, and they do visually, but it's just that if they wanted to go more of a fun route, and they didn't do that. It's like they wanted to, but they executed it in the worst way possible. Let's see here in my little notebook of notes. So, we have bad CGI, checked off. Cheetah, bad, checked off. Pedro Pascal, okay, checked off. The dialogue's fucking cheesy. I don't know what else you guys want me to say. Yeah, no, cheesy dialogue. I mean, just some of the lines in this movie was unbearable to watch. And just the way... And trust me, I love Gal Gadot as Wonder Woman. And I know she had to work with what she was given. But even some of the delivery was really, really bad. It was like a Hallmark movie. Or like a movie on Lifetime. Just, God, it was just so fucking bad. I think one aspect of the movie I do like, that honestly kind of enjoyed, and I forgot about it until I was like looking at my notes. The part when it's Wonder Woman, it's Diane showing Steve around, and you know how 1984 works. I thought it was kind of funny. It's like reverse of what they did in the first Wonder Woman. How Steve was showing Diane like what's going on Earth and in the 1940s. You know, and like how they're trying to acclimate to it. Except they're doing it in reverse. It's, you know, Diane showing Steve around. I thought that was really funny and it was kind of nice. And the relationship I really like, I do enjoy. I just don't like how they execute some of this. But that aspect of it was fine. But it's a very minimal like aspect I like. It's literally that and Pedro Pascal. And that's all I like about the movie. Oh, and Hans Zimmer's music. It was fucking great for a movie that was terrible. It's like the Game of Thrones finale. The music at the very end, I fucking love it. But I was like, this finale and this movie of Wonder Woman does not deserve this great music. It really doesn't. And it's like what they did with the movie, it didn't need to be 2.5 hours. If they cut this down to like 2 hours max or maybe an hour and 45 minutes, I don't know. I mean, it still would have been a bad movie, just shorter if they went about the way they did. And also, the third act of this movie might be the most enjoyable part of this movie, and that's not saying a lot. But, okay, so Barbara just becomes Cheetah. Maxwell Lord is telling everybody they can wish forever they want, and that I was kind of liking for a little bit, not gonna lie. But I was enjoying his part of the movie. So Barbara becomes Cheetah out of nowhere, fucking stupid. And then they do this fight in the dark because they have bad CGI and they fucking know it. So they're like, oh, well, let's not make it super noticeable. And I just don't like how it's a superhero fight. Like, finally, we're getting some action. But this is a fight that's not, memorable. I can name 20 other superhero fights that are more memorable than this. Like, you're not going to remember the fight between Cheetah and Wonder Woman. And then when she electrocutes Cheetah, Cheetah doesn't die, she still lives. For some reason, you know, it's not like cheetahs can survive electrocutions. And, you know, just for even being somewhat enjoyable, it was not fucking earned. It wasn't. You're making me sit through 2 hours of this and then 30 minutes and it's going to be like, oh, well, time to get Maxwell Lord, let's chase him around the White House because he's president now. And, oh, now Kristen Wiig has fully become Cheetah. So we gotta do this. Oh, bye, Steve. I don't know. It was just, it literally jumped from A-ish to fucking Z. I fucking hate this movie. I really do. Honestly, guys, I was going to give this, I was going to give it 2 out of 5 stars. When I first saw it, because I was like, okay, there's some enjoyable parts. The parts I enjoy are very minuscule. Very minuscule. I was like, 2 out of 5 stars is generous. Perhaps a little too generous. I'm going to give Wonder Woman 1984 a 1 out of 5 stars. Just to think, you know what, and now that I'm thinking about it, and I was thinking about doing this for a video too, ranking the DCEU movies. This movie's on the fucking bottom. I thought I couldn't hate a DC movie more than Suicide Squad. The thing about that is that, and I'm going to get into the compare game really quick, because this is going to be biased. I was very hyped up for Suicide Squad. Very hyped up when that was coming out. I fucking watched the trailers every day. I was like, oh, we get to finally see Harley Quinn live action. We get a movie about supervillains. The Joker's in it. This is going to be fucking awesome. And it was just a big smack in the face. Because I set the bar very high for myself. And ever since that movie, I try to not do that as much. There are some movies I can't resist. When the first It came out, I set the bar high, and that reached up to my expectations. Joker, and you guys know how I felt about that. I was anticipating that movie when that was first coming out when I started my channel. And I, set the bar very high. So sometimes I can't resist. This time, I set the bar lower, and I still was disappointed with it. So, yeah, I think there's more enjoyable things about Suicide Squad over this movie, even though I really don't like that movie either. But yeah, I fucking hate this movie. And Warner Brothers, you guys need to figure out what the fuck you're doing. I know everyone's saying DC, but who owns the rights to DC's movies? Warner Brothers. They're just pulling shit out of their asses when it comes to some of this stuff. And for when you guys finally succeeded a movie that's in your little, cinematic universe, and it does successful, the first Wonder Woman, you had to make a complete pile of shit out of the sequel. Why? But once movies that are not in the extended universe, they're fucking great. The Dark Knight trilogy, Joker. Like what? Then don't do a cinematic universe. I don't know. And then there's some movies that are okay in the extended universe. I really like Birds of Prey. I've said that. I actually quite enjoy that movie. I don't mind BVS. And, let's hope Snyder Cut's awesome. That's all we can really hope for now. Guys, thank you so much for watching. Please let me know what you think of Wonder Woman 1984 down below. What other superhero movies are you anticipating this year? I'd love to hear from you guys. And I will see you all in the next video. Peace.